You can't lose weight even though you're eating healthy. You're training hard and you're finding it difficult, your just weight's not coming down. And I always start the videos with, over the last decade, I have worked with thousands of people. So because of that, dive deeper, I understand these situations. So anyone who's going through those situations, I already know someone like you before, many people like you who have, pretty much same lifestyle, same, intensity in terms of training, similar. In terms of the food that they're eating and habits, they're doing the same thing. And they end up getting very frustrated in that. And for the large front, most people, they do drop weight consistently, and that can be difficult for some people because they'll see other people lose weight and they'll be like, well, I'm also eating healthy and I'm counting calories, but I don't seem to be losing weight. So they go to the doctor and the doctor tells them they've got a hormonal issue, which is absolutely nonsense. And even if you do have a hormonal issue, it doesn't make any difference to fat loss. And it's a very, very, very tiny piece of reduction in fat loss, if anything. It's literally not even worth considering. So to give you an understanding, because I've worked with all these people, they have had similar experiences where they'll get frustrated to the point where they're like, well, what's the point in this? And I'll give you an example of someone who happened most recently. It was a Russian woman working with us. She, about 3 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks ago, posted all her food, all healthy food, everything on point, training's on point, steps on point, wouldn't lose weight. She was eating about 1,700 calories, say, and with that 1,700 calories, she was counting those calories, she was right on point. Then we figured out, and she was staying the same weight. She wasn't gaining weight, she wasn't losing weight. She was literally just staying exactly the same weight. She had lost about 2 kilos in about 6 weeks, and this just wasn't enough. Then we figured out that the food that she was eating had oil in it. She was just putting oil in it. And some of the food that she was ordering, who was calorie counted, had oil. So we were a bit suspicious if it was actually the right calories. But anyway, she was having that, which is about 150 calories per meal. Even if we just round it off to 100 calories. That's 700 calories for the week on one meal a day. Okay, so then you times that by 2 meals a day, you're talking 1,400 calories extra just from a little bit of oil that it's cooked in. And it's not about the oil specifically. What it's about is this hidden calories. And it's very frustrating because I'll explain something to you. If you just completely stop eating, you will lose weight. Like clockwork. You will lose weight. You're not going to stay the same weight. There's nothing wrong with your hormones. There's nothing going on with you're not different to anyone else. It can be very frustrating. On top of that, you might be doing really, really well 5 days a week, right on point, and then Saturday and Sunday, or even just Saturday, let's just say, you eat healthy. And I'll do the multiplication, the multiple for you for this. So let's say, for example, you overeat 300 calories at breakfast, then you end up having 200 calories extra for lunch. If not, like maybe it should probably be more than that with a lot of the time. So that's 500 calories. And then at night time you go 800 calories. And just to give you perspective, in a cheesecake, in some cheesecakes, there's 1,000 calories in one cheesecake. So let's just round that to 800. So you're talking 800 plus 500, 1,300 calories extra on one day, right? And if you're on a deficit of calories every day by 300, 7, 14, 21, it's 2,100 calories for the week deficit. Well, you're still on a slight deficit with those mistakes, but that's taken into account that everything else is on point. So it can be very difficult. So to give you a solution, and I know this can be frustrating, but honestly, if you stop eating, you'll lose weight. There's nothing wrong with you. And I want to just give you that understanding. By the way, this is here for us to help you. This is not to attack. This is purely based around helping you. So just keep in mind that the understanding of this is that you need to get a solution. And the solution to this is quite straightforward. You have option 1 and option 2. Option 1 is you basically eat meat, fruit, vegetables, very calculated portions of rice or some sort of grain. And that's going to be really easy to understand. Like if you eat that, walk, train, you will lose weight. You'll definitely lose weight, for sure, 100%. Option 2 is that you count the calories, but you have a little bit more flexibility. I would still eat those as eat the foundation, like the meat, fruit, vegetables, a little bit of rice as the foundation, but you add things because it's easy to measure. Because if you really go flexible and you don't have those as a foundation, and it's completely, calorie counted and it's quite complex food, you'll miscalculate it for sure, and you'll get frustrated, and you have to be very particular. I've worked with people in Scotland, in the UK, in Europe, and actually they find it a little bit easier. They have a slower lifestyle. They have some people cook. They only work till 5 p.m. and they have all night to cook food, so they have a different scenario. If you're working in a busy lifestyle, it's unsustainable to be changing your food quite regularly. So you're going to have to eat pretty much similar stuff. And by the way, just to kind of understand, once you lose all the weight you want, to maintain your weight is super easy. It's just getting the weight off first. So just keep that in mind. But the option number 2 is you have that flexibility, but you just have the main foundation and you add a few things to it. But you need to count the calories correctly, because if you go off the calories and you do what I said a second ago, 300 for breakfast extra, 200 for lunch and 800 for dinner on one day, and that's taking in consideration that everything else is perfect, which a lot of the time is not. If you can be here and there during the week on occasion, you will not lose weight. And that can be very frustrating. You end up giving up eventually. And I don't know if you've ever seen that meme where the guy's digging for gold and he stops an inch away because he's digging for so long. And it's like, you're just right there. You just need to calculate for a period of time and understand the calories a lot more. Sorry, I just want to make sure the camera is not full because I need to delete some videos. But you need to understand that. So your option 1 is you do that 7 days a week. A lot of people can't do that. I can do that. So a lot of people can do that, but the majority, they will not do that. They want to have that flexibility. So you need to find a bit of a give or take, and you need to calculate the food correctly, consistently. And I'll give you a last example. Went for breakfast the other day. By the way, 3 eggs, 6, 12, 18 grams of protein, right? Probably not more than 150 calories. Let's just say 150, but not much more than that for 3 eggs. You have an Eggs Benedict, which doesn't have any more protein in it, just all extra excess calories, 600 calories. So you're getting 18 grams of protein with 600 calories. And it's eggs with bread and hollandaise sauce. It's literally 4 times higher in calories just for 18 grams than it should just be. If you just ate 3 eggs, I'm not saying you just have to eat 3 eggs, you're going to get bored, but some level of closeness to 150 calories, you're going to save let's say you do add something to it, 300 calories extra. Well, you do that every day, 7, 14, 20, that's 2,100 calories you've saved just from having, those things. So you can see the differences are quite vast when you zoom out. And remember, you have to look at your weight over a 14-day period. 14 days, there's a lot of reasons for that. I'm not going to talk about it in this video, but 14 days is what you should be looking for. Once you start that weight loss progress over 14 days, you should be losing consistently every week after that. Give or take, 1 week might stabilize, but it should be coming down gradually. If it's not, it is your food. If you're frustrated and you want some more help with this, please reach out. We will talk through it. It can be frustrating if you're uploading your food and sometimes you're having here, some sort of guesstimated stuff. You're gonna have to find one of those 2 options. Those are your 2 options, I promise you. Pick one. Most of you are going to pick option 2. Going to flexible, a little bit of nutrition with your calories. You're going to have to do that. Upload all your food, everything you eat, even if you eat the wrong thing. Don't be scared. We're not school teachers. We're not here to give you trouble. We're here to guide you. Follow those. I promise you, it will help you a lot. And I've worked with thousands of people who have been in this situation. You're just on the cusp of fixing it. Once you do, it will come off like clockwork. It'll be consistent. Any questions, please reach out, and thanks again.